Government officials insist that this is an isolated incident.
Warning: the following program contains explicit language and mature content. It is not meant for the easily offended. So if you are an emotional pussy, please refrain from listening. Thank you and enjoy.
All right. Welcome back. Another edition of the Buzz Podcast. This is your boy Cujo. Coming through live. As you see that beautiful face on the other side, we're doing this via internet, via Skype, via technology. It got the boy Sweet Caramel Lightning, one of the premier wrestlers in the indie scene here in Texas. Caramel, appreciate you taking the time. I know you got a lot of things to do. You know, being a newly crowned champ. Let's talk a little bit about that belt, man. Who's that belt for?
So the belt that I'm currently carrying is the NWA Texas DPCW Heavyweight Championship. Unfortunately, I don't have the belt physically with me. I'm simultaneously doing an event for the good people of San Antonio, and we're doing pictures and everything with the belt. So right now, that belt is the property of the good people who make Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling in NWA Texas a possibility. But I am the newly crowned NWA Texas DPCW Heavyweight Champion, winning that championship in April that just passed, defeating Brandon Groom and the Puerto Rican Machine Modovic to do so. And baby, I gotta tell you, let the good times roll, and Sweet Caramel is rolling. And I gotta say, this train ain't stopping for nobody.
Hey, dude, San Antonio. What's the feeling like right now with the Spurs being the talk of the town, supposed to be dominating everybody, and they hurting right now. They hurting.
Well, I could tell you like this, man. When it comes to the basketball scene and what people are saying about the Spurs, man, the people are hot right now. They don't know what's going on. they turning on Wemby a little bit, man. I gotta say,
Yeah.
I don't think the Knicks are about to leave New York, man.
Yeah. Oh shit, you're calling it sweep, huh?
It ain't looking good right now, man. Now, me personally, I'm from New Orleans. Y'all might hate me for saying this, man, but I kind of want the Knicks to win that, man. I got to see what's gonna happen, you know.
Yeah.
We didn't had a couple of Spurs championships during this century, but the Knicks been high and dry. I want to see what's gonna happen in New York. I want to see if they're gonna tear it up.
Oh, dude, I was looking at they're making the big talk about nosebleeds were what, $6K just to get in the building.
Oh, $20K for the nosebleeds, man, up in
dude.
Madison Square Garden. It's ridiculous.
No, man. Even Trump can't afford that shit. Who gonna pay for these tickets, man? I was like, yeah, they're gonna have to be they're gonna be scalpers like crazy out there, boy. Scalpers with bodyguards, because damn, it's gonna get crazy, boy. But NOLA, dude, how did you end up from NOLA out here in Texas?
Well, man, just quickly, a story, a previous story to get you onto the story from that.
Okay.
We have New Orleans is very famous for having hurricanes and things pass through. We're like right in that hurricane path. So I've previously lived in Texas after going through Hurricane Katrina and surviving that. Was living in Greenville, Texas, not too far outside of Dallas. Family moved back to New Orleans not too long after that, like maybe a year and some change afterwards. And then around 2021, this was I want to say 2 years into me being a professional wrestler, we got hit with another really bad hurricane, Hurricane Ida. And at that point, I'm an adult now. I believe I was 31 years old at the time.
Okay.
Me and my wife just made the decision, man. We were like, hey, it's time for us to get up out of here, man. It's crazy. And the school I was training out of originally, they ended up shutting down, man. So I kind of weighed my options and I thought about some things, and I said, you know what, man, let's let's see what Texas has to offer.
Okay. Yeah.
The professional wrestling is rich in
Mm-hmm.
Texas. It's the hotbed for wrestling when it comes to the United States. Me personally, when I think about professional wrestling, I think about Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Von Erichs, World Class Championship Wrestling, like all that good stuff, Southwest Championship Wrestling, even today with NWA Texas Dogg Pound, you got Nation of Wrestling
Mm-hmm.
doing our thing, like bringing that good Texas style of wrestling back to the forefront. So I when I had the opportunity to come in, I just had to jump on it, and I got hooked up with Rodney and Jazz
Mm-hmm.
of WWE fame. What can be said about those two that haven't been said?
Right.
The best people you'll ever meet in your life, genuine world class professionals and Hall of Famers, man.
Yeah.
Uh, they'll be going into the Vern Gagne Hall of Fame later this year. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge blessing for them, huge blessing for us at the Dog Pound Dojo, just to be associated with that and have that like as our wrestling lineage.
Yeah.
And the last 5 years at Dog Pound, man, it's been a blast, man. We've gotten it out of the mud, man. When
Mm-hmm.
people say get it out the mud, Dog Pound Championship Wrestling has gotten it out of the mud, man.
So what's the talking about the different types of wrestling, like usually when you think of El Paso, everybody associates the Guerrero family, Cassandro, the lucha style out here in El Paso. Since we're so close to the border, everybody associates El Paso with the lucha style. What's so special, or what's so different between, like, say, a crowd out here in El Paso and the crowd out there in San Antonio?
So, man, I can tell you this: the crowds in El Paso, being, being right, you're basically touching Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when I see a place like El Paso and I see that just Mexico is right on the other side, that's almost the same place to me. So
Yeah.
there's definitely a richer richer and more diverse history of
Mm.
professional wrestling when you come to El Paso. And the people in El Paso, they have an expectation for their culture to be a part of everything that they do. So they're looking for the lucha guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's the expectation that there's gonna be lucha injected into that show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why Mystic and recently he's had his own troubles with
Mm-hmm.
the frustration who he used to roll through.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but recently he's becoming a fan favorite, striking out on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I personally haven't had any problems with him, just his former friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think a guy like that is exactly what people are looking for when it comes to the scene of wrestling in El Paso. And then
Mm-hmm.
you got San Antonio. San Antonio, despite the fact that it's almost in the middle of Texas when you really think about it.
Yeah.
But being so much further away from its closest border town, which is Laredo,
Mm-hmm.
the people here definitely have more of the straight American style.
Okay.
They have an appreciation for lucha, but it doesn't mean as much. And I
Mm-hmm.
and I don't say that in like a negative way. It's
Right.
just like I feel like the Latino population in San Antonio is much more used to like the straight line American style.
Mm-hmm.
Like of course everybody loves Rey Mysterio, everybody loves the Guerreros, but
Yeah.
it's just like you'll get more of like the Hulk Hogan fans and like the Triple H Undertaker crowd out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus in El Paso when you're gonna hear more of like the lucha libre legends like the El Santo, like the Blue Demon and Blue Demon Jr. and guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
And just it's the Guerrero's backyard.
Yep. Facts.
So it's just like it's just infused into the city there.
So, what got you into the wrestling game? Like, when did you see it and it was like, you know what, this is what I want to do?
So man, I can tell you my earliest memory is being about 5 or 6, spending summers at my Auntie Jane's place.
Mm-hmm.
She had a small farm in
Okay.
uh in Houma, Louisiana. So we would go out there during the summers, spend some time with her.
Mm-hmm.
Little kids, all we want is sugar, man. So we get the cereal in us, we get whatever else she's got that we can find. And after a while, we're just bouncing all off the walls and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
for her to get control, she's not gonna fuss. She's not about to fight. She's gonna turn the TV on, and she would get this big box of VHS tapes, man, and like blow
Mm-hmm.
that dust off them, stick them in the VCR, and all I would hear is dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That classic NWA intro, man, from '86. And I sit
Damn.
down, I hear that crowd. I'm like, man, what is this? And next thing you know, it's ding, ding, ding. And it's just two dudes in the ring just going at it. And I'm like, man, what is this? So I
Damn.
just I sit down, I'm right in front of the TV, man. I'm like this. I'm like eyes locked on, big dog. And it's just like I'm seeing Ric Flair coming out with the music. He got the robe, he got the hair, he got the big gold belt. He's the man. You know what I'm saying? He get on that microphone, he start talking that talk, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, man, what is this?
Yeah.
And my Auntie Jane is just like, this is National Wrestling Alliance. This is NWA. She's like, that's Ric Flair. He the world champion. He the man. You
Mm-hmm.
know? And I was hooked ever since. My family would take me to Saints games in New Orleans, and I was like, "Oh, is this wrestling? Are they fighting?" Man, I didn't care nothing about no NFL, no NBA. It was WCW, WWF. That was me.
Really? Damn.
That was me.
So in high school, were you into any sports at the time, or was it
So man,
just?
So for me growing up in New Orleans, a lot of your options are kind of limited unless you're going to like certain schools. And
Mm-hmm.
we didn't really have charter schools like we do these days when I was growing up. So you were very limited
Mm-hmm.
to what your zip code offered you school wise. So
Okay.
if your school didn't have these things, like it wasn't gonna be available to you.
Yeah.
So I would play sports here and there, but nothing ever organized. It would be
Mm.
just let's get a couple of guys at the park and like let's see who's the best in the hood,
Yeah. 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 Pickup games.
kind of like that. Like I'm the best in the city but not officially because I'm not
Yeah.
doing anything against the guys who are in the organized events and things
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
So
you
it's like
guys. Yeah, you guys are
it's
like
it's
the and
much
one.
more. Right. So all my early athletic achievements are kind of like unofficial.
Mm-hmm.
Very much like street cred behind it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was able to go to school in Texas for about a year and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I really like jumped into the sports. I was doing football, basketball, powerlifting. They asked me if I wanted to do track and field, and I just had this weird feeling come up my spine when they asked
Mm-hmm.
me that, and it was just like, man, track and field's a track, bro. I was like, why, like, bro, why we gotta do all this running?
Facts.
You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
dog, like I go up to the coach. I'm like, coach, this is hot outside, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why I gotta run 10 laps?
Yep.
Why I gotta run 10 laps? Like, can we do some sprints? You know?
Just
And he
call
just
it a
like,
day.
right. He's like, Caramel, get up out of here, please. Just leave. You know?
From
But
from
but it was football, basketball, like powerlifting for me. Like those were my cups of tea. And you may not look at it now because a lot of people look at me as like a ripped guy. I'm like very in shape and whatnot. I used to
Mhm.
be 300 pounds.
Yeah. Damn.
I, dude, I walked into a classroom first day of school for me, getting to Greenville, Texas, and the teacher is, I believe it was social studies or history or something. He looks at me, he's like, "Man, what are you doing after school?" And
Hmm.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, what you talking about?" You know, why does grown man ask me what I'm doing after school? And I'm like, well, nothing really. I'm probably just gonna go home and watch some cartoons or something. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, you my new starting D tackle. What you talking about? Some cartoons?
We about to line
He
you up,
said,
boy.
he said, call your mama right now. You getting a physical after school.
So what made the change? Did you go from the 300-pound DT to the ripped sweet caramel machine that you are now?
So man, through high school, I stuck with the football and everything. I kind of knew I wasn't meant to really be a big guy because I want to say freshman year, I was about 270
Okay.
coming into the guy's classroom. So that's why he was like, oh, you're the new D tackle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really, really big. But once that off-season program started for football and we're transitioning to the JV team, uh we're doing all these new workouts and all this stuff to get us in shape and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
I lost 40 pounds in 2 months doing that.
Damn.
And they transitioned me to tight end and everything. They were like, you can't really play defense no more, dude. You're too small.
He'll get thrown around.
Right. I remember dropping to like 230 or something like that.
Damn.
Doing those off-season workouts, and I just melted, dude.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah, 2 days will do that to
so
you.
Right. And I gotta say, like right before the season started, my mom was like, oh, hey, we're moving back to New Orleans, like tough titty, you
Ooh.
know?
Yeah.
So right, that killed all of that for me. So I leave Texas and I kind of just go back to playing ball on the street and stuff.
Yeah.
And professional wrestling came much later. I was still like a big guy, but like sitting more in that 240 range.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm working out and everything now, and it's impossible to be skinny living in Louisiana, man. It just is. It just is.
It's all
Especially
that.
New Orleans.
It's all that Creole
Especially
food.
right. You're gonna carry a little extra weight no matter what. But
Yeah.
I do 2 years of professional wrestling out in New Orleans. I'm one of the bigger heavyweights out there.
Okay.
I got the muscle, but I'm not super ripped or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, I make the transition to come out here to San Antonio, and I start working with Rodney and Jazz. And Rodney Mack is a big football guy too from his past, along with being a shoot style wrestler with the Greco-Roman amateur style,
Mm-hmm.
and hooking up with him and training with him and everything. Like I'm right back on tour days now, working with
Damn.
these people. So it's my own personal workout in the morning when I wake up, and then boom, like 3 days a week, I'm over at the dojo and I'm
Mm.
doing my thing training over there. And like, Rodney is just like cardio, cardio, cardio. If you don't have the cardio, you can't do this at the level you need to do it at.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's like crazy and balls to the wall, but he's going to make sure that you become the machine that you need to become.
Right.
you know. And
So
I'm sitting at like 210 now. you
damn.
know.
Yeah, no, that's every pound was worked for, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Damn. So again, with the technology got us again, bro. So it's we're recording your audio, but your camera's frozen, so I can't see what's going on with like your like you're frozen on the spot where you're like mid sentence. um,
Uh-oh.
yeah. Hold on. Let me try something real quick. Hopefully this doesn't do anything. Hold on one sec. So, how long have you been in the wrestling business? You said.
This is gonna be 7 years this year.
Jeez, 7 years, dude.
So
So, how does it work when being the NWA Dog Pound champ, and then helping out here or coming out here to the nation of wrestling? How does that work in between? Because I know that everybody, back in the day, they always talked about um, territories for people and whatnot, right? How does that work within? Is it all part of the same? Is it all part of the same company? Is it as an offshoot, or are you a free agent? Are you like how does that work?
so basically with with how the professional wrestling works with the indie wrestling, you
Yeah.
can basically go anywhere you want. Like the indie comes from independent.
Right.
Uh, we have a more unique situation because we're partnered with the NWA, so we still follow territory rules. Uh, but the good thing about Nation of Wrestling, we have a very good working relationship with Nation of Wrestling. So we send talent from Dogg Pound to Nation of Wrestling and
Hmm.
vice versa. Ivy Red and Hershey J, two very good friends of mine actually.
Yeah.
From over at Nation of Wrestling, they're branded as NWA Texas wrestlers.
Okay.
So they've worked very hard. They've done everything they needed to do to earn that distinction, and we're happy for them because it makes the relationship between Dog Pound and Nation of Wrestling that much stronger. You know, and while it might not be official and in
Hmm.
writing or stone, but I consider Nation of Wrestling to be a territory as well.
Yeah.
Uh, something like that could very well happen in the future. I think we're tearing it up at Nation of Wrestling. I think El Paso would be the perfect place for that type of thing to happen,
Hmm.
but we got to keep working hard, doing our part, and
Yeah.
we gotta take care of those embers, man, and make sure they burn in the humongous flame so we can get some more eyes on that product. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But the people support Nation of Wrestling. The shows are always packed, sold out, big energy in the building, man. So we just
Hmm.
gonna keep doing what we do, and we're gonna make what we want happen, man. We're not
Yeah.
sitting around waiting for nobody.
I mean, I say it every time, man. I've been honored enough to be able to sit ringside with you guys since I want to say what November, more or less, and
Mhm.
every show you could see the growth of the professionals that are in there. You could see that they take their craft serious. You could see where somebody might be mistimed on certain moves. After one or two matches, then you could see how they shore up their timing or whatnot. And it's great to see something like that. Like Drake said, right? Started from the bottom, now I'm here. And it's not that the Nation of Wrestling is the bottom, but the way Frank and Queens and the whole Nation of Wrestling get in there and teach you, I think is pretty awesome. It's like that 1, 2, 3 color, color paint. The color one is blue, color two is red, and sometimes you need to have it broken down so simple to make it more difficult. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
think the way these guys are doing it, and I mean, the sky's the limit for these guys. But when you're coming from a larger group like a nation, the NWA, right? When you're in the building for the Nation of Wrestling, like, do you feel being, the veteran guy that you like? If you see something, will you take somebody off to the side and be like, "Hey, dude," or "Hey, Ivy," or "Hey, whoever, I saw you trying to do this. I know what you're trying to do, but you're going about it wrong. Try this." Or is it just like, is it still pretty much every soldier for themselves?
So man, me personally, I'm a big team player,
Hmm.
and if I feel like I can help some people like come up and improve and expand their wrestling knowledge, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Obviously you're gonna get some people that don't always agree with the criticism,
Hmm.
because unfortunately, some people they take criticism as an attack.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't do nothing with them, man. That's why I've had the problem. That's why I've been having problems with certain guys at Nation of Wrestling.
Hmm.
Uh, I've never come at anybody with the pulling the veteran card or trying to be big man on campus and big brother people. You
Hmm.
know, I've always come in friendly. Shaking hands, kissing babies, all that good stuff. But sometimes, man, guys just can't handle it.
Yeah.
Had got an issue going on with RTJ right now, man, and he didn't just he done just took it too far, man. And I told him straight to his face. I said, I think you're jealous of everything I've been doing out here in El Paso, man.
Mm-hmm.
We all want to grow up and be the man where we from. We want to be the most popular guy in the city, the guy everybody knows,
Right.
and sometimes it happens for somebody else,
That's
you
just the way the
know.
cookie crumbles, boy.
Right. And I'm not trying to take anybody's spotlight, man. The way I look at it, I bring my spotlight where I go and I shine it on myself, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah, that's
But
where that lightning
some
comes from.
right. But some dudes, man, they can't stand that, bro, because they can't replicate it.
Yeah.
They talk about it, but they not about it.
Yeah. So
And I
like
think this hmm?
so when you're going to a different promotion, right? Being the heavyweight champ at the NWA, do some people think, or do you think some people expect you to be, walking in with that heavy ego, saying that I'm the champ and I deserve, you know, if not the same love that I should get as a champ, for the NWA here, or I deserve top billing every time because I'm the top dog.
Well, you know what, man? Through all my success, I've never really felt like that.
Yeah.
I'm where I am today because of hard work and discipline.
Yeah.
You know, I carry the NWA Texas DPCW Heavyweight Championship with pride and honor.
Mm-hmm.
And from the first day I saw that belt, I knew I was going to be somebody that held it. I just had to play my part and I had to wait for my opportunity. And now I got it. But
Yeah.
I never walk in anywhere and say, oh, because I'm the champ, I'm the man, y'all got to give me A, B, and C. For me, it doesn't work like that, man. I'm at the end of the day, I'm just passing through.
Yeah.
And the things that I do and accomplish are for me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's not for anybody else. Anytime I walk into a locker room, man, I want to be a light for everybody. I
Yeah.
want to be a helping hand. I want to be the guy that's gonna come in and make everything better for everybody. Now
Mm-hmm.
sometimes don't always work out like that. And sometimes you gotta fight a little harder when you want to get your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't been that dude coming in and doing the grimy stuff to people, straight up,
Yeah.
But we gotta do what we gotta do to make our own path. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that means you're gonna butt heads with people.
Yeah. So I've known from but back in the day, and I've told the story before on other pods. My pops would be helping, or he would make boots for Hogan, and Sting, and some of the other wrestlers. So the very few times that like the big shows would come into El Paso, like WCW Nitro or Monday Night Raw or whatever, back in the days when I was still into it, we would get access, all access to backstage, and maybe the guy and lady lover that I am, I was always trying to be with them Nitro girls to the back, uh, until I got kicked out a few times. But sometimes they say never meet your heroes, right? Because like
Hmm.
I met Conan, and this was when he was all Viva la Raza, and he was hardcore cholo. And I was like, hell yeah, I know those people, that's my
Right.
fam. And I go up to him, and some bitch is reading like Love and War or some shit. And I'm like, yo, he's all educated. And I was like, dude, who the fuck is this guy? Who is this? What's going on? Do you feel like no matter once you're in the building, you have to stay close in character until the moment you walk out? Or is Sweet Caramel Lightning you 24/7?
Oh man, this is me 24/7, man. I'm just turned up to 11. I can tell you a quick little story, man. When I was in high school, senior year, I'm ready to be out of there.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who I was good friends with at the time. He was a darker skinned gentleman, a little bit more on the hefty side as I was.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking to these girls at the bus stop one day, about to get on the bus and go home.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the girls, she was talking to my buddy, and she was like, "You know what? I'm gonna call you Chocolate Thunder."
Mm.
You know, that's the nickname they always give to the dark skinned guys. You know what I'm saying? But you know, one of the other girls I was talking to, they was like, "Well, look, if they friends, so he need a nickname too." So they
Yeah.
looked at me. I was, you know, I'm the big light skinned guy. They was like, "Oh, we gonna call you Caramel Lightning."
There you
So
go.
that comes from like a real thing that like
Yeah.
took place in my life, man. So that became like low key a little nickname for me
Mm-hmm.
during my last year of high school. And
Damn.
I remember not too long after that, we did like Spirit Week at the school. You know, the seniors about to get out of here, so we doing all our little pep rallies and things
Yeah.
like that. So we just did a different type of wrestling theme every day for that whole Spirit Week. You know, and we was Chocolate Thunder and Sweet Caramel Lightning. We was Sweet Sensations. You know, and we was just doing our thing the whole week. You know.
Damn. Yeah, that'll work. I mean, that anytime you get a sweet nickname like that, that go a long way with the ladies, boy.
Right, man. So I'm just like that. This is me, man. This comes from a real place. This ain't something I just sat down and wrote in a journal in a little notebook. This is something that was already part of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just brought it to the forefront so everybody could see it.
So when you first started the wrestling thing, you know, I know character is one of the big things. Helping build the character and being larger than life or whatnot. Was the option ever given to you, or did you ever think about going something different than the Sweet Caramel Lightning, who you are, or was it always just I'm gonna do me no matter what?
So man, when I first got into professional wrestling, I did have like the crazy character that I was
Mm-hmm.
just like playing. I very much was not Sweet Caramel Lightning at all. It wasn't even like trying to be that. You know, I was really trying to be something else.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it took me a while to decide to just start being myself.
Okay.
Uh, when I first started, I was Ricardo Mendoza, the Mountain. You know, I had like
Wait,
right.
what was the backstory for Ricardo Mendoza?
So
Who's a
man,
random ass name?
I was the long lost son of the guy that was doing the Dos Equis commercials, right?
Wow.
So I was like a low key Cuban immigrant on the show and everything, you know. And I was like, I was doing all this stuff to get my father's attention so he would accept me back, things like that, you know.
Wow.
So that was my whole story, and I had like a Craven the Hunter style gimmick, you know, like doing the bounty and all that on people. And I was doing it, and it was just like, this ain't really hitting, man. It's just
Yeah.
like, you know, I got more juice than this, dude.
Yeah.
And then I started doing the caramel lightning thing. So it wasn't sweet caramel lightning, it was caramel lightning Ricardo Mendoza, you know?
Yes. Yeah, people
And
remember
then
that
it was
long
just
ass
like,
name.
right. I was just like, man, this is too damn long. So I was just like, you know what? Let's just let's scrap the whole trying to be a character thing,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just be caramel lightning. Let's just be me.
Yeah.
Let's be open, let's be honest, let's tell the truth and give the people like the real deal, you
Tell the
know?
truth.
But you know what, man? When as soon as I started doing that, my first coach, he was like, yes, this is it. This
Mm-hmm.
is you. This is what you need to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
so,
and we never look back, man. So I don't consider Sweet Caramel Lightning to be a character. This is just another side of the coin. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because when I'm not wrestling, when I have to be around like regular people who may or may not be into what I do,
Yeah.
uh I gotta tone it down a little bit. I gotta be the regular guy, you know. I gotta be, if Sweet Caramel Lightning is tails,
Mm-hmm.
I have to be on the head side of the coin sometimes. So I gotta
Right.
tone it down. I gotta be a regular guy, you know. I gotta have decaf coffee instead of regular coffee. You know what I mean?
So what is toned down Sweet Caramel Lightning? What is he like? What is he into? What does he do? Like is he that quiet cat in the corner that just like, yo, I'm just I'm just saving it for when I gotta blow up, or are you
Right,
out
man.
there?
I always tell people this, man, and I do it because it's a great allegory because I wear glasses actually.
Okay.
Uh, Sometimes, so I got the whole Clark Kent thing going on. I'm like, hi guys, do you recognize me?
There you
And
go.
then I take them off, and I'm Big Daddy Cool again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, where you going, girl?
Damn.
You know.
So
So
yeah. So what are you into off camera, man?
So man, uh, I'm a big football guy, big into sports and all that. But
Mm,
a lot of people might not realize this. They see me and I'm talking like 6'2". I got all the muscles,
mm,
big ball black dude and all that, looking all tough and whatnot. Man, I'm into like anime. I'm into like I don't really play card games anymore.
mm-hmm.
But I used to be really big into those when I was a kid, so I still know what all that is. Like,
Okay.
like the Yu-Gi-Oh, the Pokemon, the Digimon, all that stuff. Like, that's not so much what I spend my money on,
Yeah.
but it's like I'll keep up with it. I'll see what's going on. It still entertains me, still brings
Mm-hmm.
me some childhood joy. That's like when you see your grandpa or somebody, he's watching like Bonanza or something.
Yeah.
You know,
The
those
memories.
were right. Those were the Saturday morning cartoons at one point.
Yeah.
You know, it was the same thing. So even though I'm growing up, I still have an appreciation for those things that I held dear as a child.
Yeah.
They bring me joy, but
Yeah.
I don't go like overboard with it. I don't have like tattoos of the Power Rangers on me and stuff like that.
But you were at the Power Ranger convention.
Right, like I got to go meet some of the Power Rangers and like hang with them for a little bit, and I thought that was dope. Because when
Yeah.
I was like, because between 5 and like 10, I wanted to be a Power Ranger like so bad,
Yeah. You see,
you
back in
know.
my day, we didn't have the Power Rangers. We had Voltron. I think Voltron was
Right.
the OG where they got it from.
Right, but if Voltron, like let's say like if Voltron was like a live action show
Yeah.
and you had faces to put to those characters,
Mm-hmm.
you would probably go to like a little Voltron convention or something and go want to hang with them people because they brought you some joy as a kid,
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think I think that's what a lot of people are missing these days, man. That's why I feel like it's so important to do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Not only am I entertaining adults when I'm in that ring, but I'm making memories for the kids.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah,
a
man.
big thing. Right, that's a big thing I've noticed out here in Texas. When you get like some of the older wrestlers who are like in their 40s and 50s, maybe, and
Mm-hmm.
they come to a show, there are guys in the back that are like adult wrestlers now. They have
Mm-hmm.
like kids and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, dude, do you know who this is, man? I grew up on this guy."
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
they wrestled and everything, and I might not like this guy, but Big Cat, Isaiah Osborne, he wrestled Skybird recently.
Yep.
You were there for that.
Yep.
And he does not talk good about a lot of people. He does not have like that respect for a lot of the guys,
Mm-hmm.
especially some of us guys who are younger and competing with him.
Right.
But it's like the way he talked about Skybird,
Mm-hmm.
it's like he there's respect and reverence there.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important because one of these days I'm gonna be that guy that's in Skybird shoes, and some guy that's wrestling and is the champion of an organization. He's gonna say to himself, to people, he's gonna be like, "Hey, this is Sweet Caramel Lightning. This is the guy that got me into being a professional wrestler."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
So
know. I mean, like, well, I know. I don't know. When we're younger, right? We want to grow up so fast, and we want to be adults, and we want to do A, B, C, and D or whatever, right? But I've always said,
mhm.
man, and anytime anybody's around me, even though I look like like a complete a hole, or I'm mad or halfway, most of the time I'm asleep, right? Because I'm sleep deprived or whatever. Dude, I'm a big kid inside because I mean, like, one of the biggest kids I know I see at the events. I'm sure you hear him, Ruben out there at the World Boba and Coffee, just yelling his
Mhm.
I had
Always.
I had him with me. I want to say, I think it was the last time we were out there. I had him as my co-host. This dude was trying to high five wrestlers mid conversation while we're trying to host the show. I was like, "Hey, dude, have a seat, bro. We got a job to do." His fandom just took over, and I think that's something
But you
that we
know
need.
what? That's that beauty and pageantry and just that passion of what
Hmm.
professional wrestling is. And my big thing, man, just let's make new fans. Let's give people some memories. Let's create
Yeah,
some moments. Let's give them something real to feel. You know,
yeah,
pro wrestling is all about emotion, man. It's
yep.
all about emotion.
It
You
sure
know.
is. So, as a wrestler, what are some things that you see or that you would need to see in other wrestlers to give to be able to say, you know what, man, this dude's got my respects. Like this dude's legit. Like what does it take? Is it somebody owning, a belt? Is it somebody somebody who's been around for 15 something years, never got the chance to be put over, but he's continuously in there busting his ass. 'Cause I know there was a dude back in the day who was in the WWE or WWF back then, the Brooklyn Brawler. I don't think I ever saw that dude win in like 20 years, but everybody loved the dude. Like everybody had respect for the cat. As a wrestler,
Mhm.
what does it take for somebody to earn the respect from you?
Care about what you do.
Okay.
If you don't care about what you do, why are you here?
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, I we do meet and greets all the time, right?
Hmm.
And I can tell you this, man. I've had guys that have told me that, hey, I'm coming to the meet and greet, but I'm going to the movies first. You know,
Shit.
I'm going to do this first.
Yeah.
I gotta wash some clothes. I can't make it to the meet and greet just yet.
Yeah.
It's just like I can understand if you were hitting me up to be like, oh, hey, I got to work today, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to get there right at 11 when this starts, right at 12 when this starts, but I'll be there at 3.
Mhm.
You know, I'm cool with that
Yeah.
because real life is going to happen. You know, we got to pay the bills.
Hmm.
But if you're going to sit there and tell me, oh, I can't make time for this because I got to go to the movies, you
Hmm.
don't care about what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You can go,
facts.
yeah, right. You can go do this after this. Our job is to help, is to create fans. Our
Hmm.
job is to be available. We're superstars. We're not regular guys. You know,
Yeah.
we're I don't want you to act like you're a cut above these people because at the end of the day, you're trying to get these people to come and spend their money on our product. But I
Right.
want you to act like an athlete would in that sense. You're not a regular civilian. You're
Hmm.
somebody who's an entertainer and a performer, and there are expectations of you. And if you can't understand that simple thing, what do we need you for?
Yeah, that's true,
You
man.
know?
You guys
I,
are an escape for some people.
Right. How can I give my respect to you as a performer if I see that you as a performer don't even care about what you're doing?
Yeah, they mail it in.
Right.
Damn.
The
So
for a guy like me, I got into professional wrestling when I was about 28 years old. I'm
yeah.
35 now. Uh WWE, WrestleMania, things like that, that might not be in my future.
Hmm.
You know, I could get lucky and I could be ready if such an opportunity ever presented itself to me. But right now, where I am, I'm looking for the NWA, the MLW,
Mm.
the TNA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or just like some of the bigger indie wrestling companies where
Right.
you can make a little bit of a living, get the following, do that. You know, that's what I'm looking for right now. And there are some guys, and this is cool if that's what you want to do, but they're the weekend warrior.
Yeah.
You know, they get their stuff offline from the general shop where everybody else gets their stuff, and they might train if they feel like it, or they might not train at all, and
Yep.
then they show up to the show and they do their thing and they go home. You know,
Yep. Yeah.
but for me, I'm trying to be somebody.
Yeah. So
You know?
so I know earlier you're talking about all the different VHS tapes when you started watching back in the day, with the Von Erichs and man, that poor family, Jesus Christ,
Hmm.
and everybody else, the big names being so that to me that kind of tells me you're a little bit of a historian of the game, right?
Yes, sir.
Seeing what wrestling was, back in the day, and seeing the toll that it takes physically, mentally, emotionally on people. Like, you have the Jake the Snakes that got the addictions, and you got these guys that were either on some kind of substance that got a hold of them, or the what is it the injections got them, and they're with that. Is any of that old school mentality still around with the newer generation?
I man, I can't say for sure
Mm-hmm.
because like you said, a lot of that stuff, those are like the personal demons, man. Those are
Yeah.
like those types of things. Uh Now as far as like steroids and stuff like that go, you're not gonna have like groups of guys doing that, like those body guy types
Mm-hmm.
that have to like oh you got to be on steroids if you want to be in this club, you know. I don't think we have that type of subculture in professional wrestling anymore,
Yeah.
but obviously people are human beings, they're going to have their own things going on,
Mm-hmm.
and you really don't know what people are going through,
Yeah.
but I feel like in this day and age, a lot of guys my age, we were growing up and seeing all of that happen in live action, you know?
Yeah.
I was I was 14 or 15 when Eddie Guerrero died. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was something that I was very well aware of, you know? And then
Mm-hmm.
when they said, "Oh, this is why this happened,"
Mm-hmm.
like I knew what was going on, you
Yeah.
know. So for me personally, I try to stay away from like the painkillers and things like that. Like
Yeah.
even stuff you can get at Walmart, I don't take too much,
Okay.
you
Damn.
know. uh
Yeah.
like sometimes it depends on like I took a nasty little bump a few weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
and kind of spiked myself on the head, so my neck was giving me some trouble, you
Yeah.
know. So for that instance I decided to have some like it's like that acetaminophen ibuprofen combo,
Mm-hmm.
from Walmart, a little cheap stuff.
Yeah.
But even that, like it has its drawbacks. You can't really be on that stuff every day, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta deal with that pain and let it pass, man. Because we want to keep ourselves healthy,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
We
Longevity.
we right. I want to have some longevity beyond pro wrestling because I can't do this forever,
Right.
but yes, am I destroying my body to an extent? Absolutely. It comes with the territory. But I'm not going to put myself in a position to where I crumble and
Mm-hmm.
just break down at some point. And I
So
need to be like living off painkillers.
so when you're coming up, and I've been asking actually a lot of the wrestlers, a lot of the guys from the Nation of Wrestling when I have them on here, when you are developing or setting up your signature moves, right? Because I had seen this from the Hulk Hogan documentary that he did. Do you ever think about the ramifications of a certain move? Oh, there you go. We're back. Do you ever think about the ramifications of a certain move, of what it's going to do for you, to your body in the future? Like he would talk about, the simple leg drop, his finishing move. That after doing that for what 35, 40 something years that he was doing it, he had to have like 20 something back surgeries because working
Mhm.
300 days on the road, that simple just drop on your spine day in and day out causes all that. Do you ever think about that, or is it just this move looks cool and I'm just gonna go for it?
Well, you always have that thought. So you got to try things out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see what works for your body.
Yeah,
So just because something is cool, yeah, I might want to try it, but what is it gonna do to me? What is it gonna have me feel?
yeah,
you know uh There was a move that I used to do a long time ago, the big ending.
Hmm.
The move similar to Big E does
Okay.
when he was wrestling, and that's not a crazy move,
Yeah.
you know. Something very simple. You pick the guy up, you have him on you vertical, and then you drop him down, for some
Hmm.
punishment.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, man. I dislocated my hip doing that one night.
Damn. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
It happens, man. Whether it's a complicated move or a simple move, you
Yeah.
can get hurt, man. So that's why I always tell people, man, professional wrestling is as real as it gets, man. Don't come in here calling it fake, because
Hmm.
it can happen just like that.
Yeah. Well, that was who was it? Oh man, what was his name? There was a wrestler in the WWE. I think was he the Puke or what the hell was his name? Where he was trying. They're doing a hurricanrana off the top rope, and he landed on his neck, and he was done for. He was young too. He was like 27, 28. And one
Hmm.
simple move that he said he's done
That's a wrap.
1,000 times, and he just that time he did it, he slipped, and it's a wrap.
Yep.
He's wheelchair
That's a
bound, and
wrap.
he's done. Yeah, man, these guys, I'm telling you, the stuff you guys go through, it's definitely not a. You guys don't get the praise that you guys deserve, because that I've seen. We've had on oh, what's his name? Cinto de Oro. Cinto de Oro. We had him on one time, and my co-host at that time, this dude was doing the chop challenge. We just chopped the shit out of you on your chest, and
Hmm.
my co-host was like, I'll do it. Dude, that handprint was on him for like 4 days.
I
he,
bet.
he took one chop. That sounded like a shotgun here in the studio. He broke skin on his chest, and man, he had that handprint on for days. And I was like, "What's up, bro?
Man, oh
Is this real or
man.
no?"
Man, oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that's
crazy.
better him than me though. But when looking at the history of all this, who do you think are some of the wrestlers that don't get the love that they should have gotten? Like in the big names, like I know. I was talking to Chemo about this on the last pod. Like I think RVD is one of those dudes that doesn't get the love he deserves. Goldberg, I know the Goldberg was having a lot of people hated Goldberg just because he's very limited. He came into the game hella late because he had the NFL career. Who are some of the guys you think should get mentioned amongst the better, like the upper echelon that don't get the love that they do?
Man, a favorite of mine these days who's much better than I feel like he's allowed to be is a guy named Anthony Bowens
Okay.
right now. He's in AEW, but that is one phenomenal professional wrestler for me. And
Hmm.
he's a guy whose tape I study a lot.
Really? What
Uh,
is it about
he,
him that catches you?
he does a lot of unique stuff, man. If you ever go up and look at some of his independent professional wrestling matches, you'll see so much more to his game
Hmm.
than what you'll see if he's wrestling on like a AEW show or a Ring of Honor show, something like that. And
Okay.
it's like a night and day difference,
Yeah.
you know. And I don't think he gets nearly as much love as he should.
Yeah.
Uh,
Y-
Another guy, Jonathan Gresham, the octopus. Love me some Jonathan Gresham, man. Super duper technical, but uh ripped from head to toe, man.
Yeah.
But I don't think he gets a lot of the love he deserves because he's like 5'4" or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
You
that'll
know,
do it.
he's a shorter guy, man, but it's just like, bro, he could wrestle with the best of them, dude.
Yeah. One thing I was noticing, and I mentioned this on one of the other pods. I can't remember who I was talking to. With everybody doing with MMA being such a huge thing right now, still right, the UFCW or UFC. I mean, and just where how far that's come along. and everybody wants to see, back in the day, everybody wanted to see Ronda Rousey put somebody in that armbar, or, somebody, people tap out. That's something I think that's missing a lot more now than it was back in the day. Like when you had Bret the Hitman Hart, he did the sharpshooter. Jericho did the Jericho shooter. Ric Flair, his finishing move was the figure four, right?
Figure four leg lock.
Yeah, the figure four. Like that's something that we don't see. I'm noticing a lot more that I don't see nowadays. What is it about submissions that people are kind of going away from?
I think a lot of guys just want that big exciting pop.
Yeah.
When with the that accompanies like the flash hit finishing move,
Okay.
Like I do a spear
Yeah.
to finish people off, man. But but you gotta think about guys who do like the Randy Orton RKO and things like that. Like think about how crazy people go when they see a RKO
Right.
get hit, just like out of nowhere. So I think that's more why you don't get the submissions and things these days like that. And I've even seen guys who use a submission, and sometimes the people aren't always like with it with the submission. They don't really pop for it like they'll pop for like a big cutter or a big spear or something crazy
Right.
like that. So it's a little bit of a lost art form, man. But you got me thinking I might want to make somebody tap out. I might have to get in that ring and do a little something,
Yeah. Yeah, because
expand my repertoire.
I know, like nowadays, and the thing, when you're talking about, these guys who want to have that big pop, right? Back in the day, the thing that I hate seeing is, back in the day, one person would do one move and that's them. Now you're seeing, like say back in the day, you'd had Shawn Michaels who do the sweet chin music, and once you saw that, it was ball game. It's over. Now
Right.
a lot of wrestlers now, especially I think it's the AEW that I was seeing it in. That's part of their just normal routine. It's like it's as common as a drop kick used to be, and you see that as like, well, that takes all the flair out of what somebody had made a career off of as their finisher. Now it's just part of a just taking a normal bump. That's why I think something crazy mixing and I always go back to RVD because the way he mixed in the lucha with the technical with a little bit of the martial arts in there, and he was just like, what if you see him, if you were to see his video and they were to black him out where you can't see who it is, just seeing his movement, you know exactly who it is. Like there's no
Right.
if, ands, buts are about it. There's no, oh, well, this could be this guy, this could be that. No, that's that's RVD all day. And even though he would do what his finishing move was a frog splash like Eddie Guerrero,
It was his.
the way you sell it, RVD would sell it completely different than the way Eddie would, and I think that's what will make the pop for both of them. Using the same move, but you put that different flair on it for you. I think that's something that's crazy. That's why I was thinking, with the Iron Sheik wasn't much, but he'd get you in that camel clutch, and oh man, he thought he was gonna rip somebody's head off. He thought it's just done. And I think that's something I personally would like to see kind of mixed back in, kind of the MMA style mixed in with that wrestling, kind of Ken Shamrock hybrid, I guess you could say.
Right. It works if you do it right, man.
Yeah.
It works if you do it right. So that's why you got me thinking, might have to snatch somebody up in that arm bar,
Bro, I got ideas, boy. I got
Real
ideas for
quick.
you.
Real quick, give me 1 second, boss. My
Yeah.
phone's
Do you?
about to die.
Uh-oh.
Gotta run real quick.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Talk about cutting it close, right? All right. So what we've come. So I mean, we're almost out of here. So we'll save that phone for you. But so now is a part of the show where we do what we call 10 shots, no chaser. This is going to be the sweet caramel lightning edition. What we got going on here, man, for those of you that don't know, 10 random questions, some wrestling related, some just off the wall stuff that I'm easily amused by. First thing that come to your head, spit it out, and then it's kind of just kind of speed lightning round to go along with sweet caramel lightning. Right off the bat, which wrestler would be the worst roommate and why?
Oh my God, Bastion Booker, nasty mofo, dog. Put the put the N in nasty, my man. Oh my God, bruh. You know what? Bastion Booker could have been the nicest dude in the world, but
Mm-hmm.
just as soon as that music hit, as soon as this man come out from that back curtain, dog, I'm like, oh my God, get this person off my screen. He's so nasty looking. Wouldn't be able to do it.
Nah. All right. If WWE made a sweet caramel lightning action figure, what ridiculous accessory would it come with?
Oh my God, a shaker cup.
A shaker cup.
No, a gallon of water.
Explain a little bit of the gallon of water. Why?
So man, back in the day when I was a behavior interventionist at a local high school in New Orleans.
Okay.
So I used to carry a jug of water with me, the big gallon everywhere, and I would draw like little mean faces on it for the children.
I bet. If fans can only describe you using one food item, what food would you hope they pick?
Coffee.
Coffee. Okay. What part of wrestling do you think deserves more respect from fans?
Tag team wrestling.
What's a skill outside of wrestling that has helped you or helped your wrestling career?
Ooh, that's a good one, man. I would have to say organization skills.
Okay. How's why or how has that helped?
When I'm doing my day job, I actually work in a hybrid education medical field, and
Okay.
that's a whole lot of data collection, my man. So that organization skill, oh my, if you knew what I did for a living and could see all that paperwork, you would
Yeah.
say to yourself, damn, this is a whole lot of acronyms.
No wonder he fight. No
Right.
wonder he fight. All right. What do you think separates good wrestlers from great wrestlers?
Work ethic and desire.
Okay. What's something you've accomplished in wrestling that younger you wouldn't believe?
Becoming NWA Texas Heavyweight Champion for Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling.
Mm-hmm. What's the hardest conversation you've had with your family about your wrestling career?
Oh man, getting them to care about what I do.
What was the general consensus about it before having to care about what you did? Like, what was their thought on it?
Why aren't you becoming a pastor?
Damn. Yeah, that's a hard left. Tell them because you're not into little boys. Is there a match or moment that still gets emotional when you think about it?
Oh man, I want to say when I won my first singles championship, which was the pound for pound championship for Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That was that belt is like that's the open weight championship, and more of the local guys hold that one. So
Okay.
I felt like getting that one, I had really accomplished something for like the community of San Antonio.
Mm-hmm. So when knowing you're gonna get over and you're gonna get that chip, right? Does that emotion take over you when you're in the ring going through it, or does it not sink in until that hand gets raised?
Well, man, I'll tell you something that's a little bit unique
Okay.
about Dogg Pound. We typically we typically don't know what's going to be happening when
Okay.
we get there. So we do our thing so that people can go to work the next morning,
Mm-hmm.
but we typically get that at the drop of a dime, you know?
Really?
Like as it's happening, we get a little tug here and there, you
So
know?
in the flow of the match.
So right. So it's like we don't know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like the way we do it, who can do this better in the ring and who can earn the W?
Okay. Word.
You know, who
Yeah.
can actually earn it. So we make it competitive for ourselves in that way. And I feel like that is something that separates us from a lot of people and it makes us better at what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You
Okay.
know, because it has to be real for us.
Right.
You
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
know,
You got to
there
sell it.
there's an extra added layer.
Mm. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Mhm.
All right. What do you hope people remember about Sweet Caramel Lightning long after your last match?
That I was charismatic, that I brought it, that I was the real deal. That when people talked to me and they saw me perform, they knew that that man was giving it everything that he had.
Yeah. All right. And I got one bonus question, which I'll just thought off the top of my head right now. With these shows that are on now that WWE is, globally or whatever, even more globally now on Netflix and readily available, and all the behind the scenes documentaries that they're doing, and basically releasing all the magic behind the curtains, right? What's your take on them pulling that curtain back and letting everybody see what really goes on in the background? Are you, as a purist of a historian of wrestling, the thing that made wrestling unique was that even though you knew it wasn't probably 100% legit as far as for, guys getting hit, because if you get hit 3,000 times in the head in a week, that's a CTE waiting to happen, right? But now that they're pulling the curtain back and they're saying, especially with, Triple H and, where they show the gorilla room and they start talking about this is what's going to happen. You're going to lose here. You're going to win here. You're going to do, they're showing everything behind it. What's your take on that? Are you for that or are you against that?
You know, man, I can have all my own personal feelings about that, but to say that that's being done these days and it isn't really affecting the bottom line of anything, I
Mm-hmm.
think it kind of just shows where people are in their understanding of what we do and how we do it.
Right.
And I think we're just at that phase where people just know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, it's our job to still make them feel something.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I say I want to be as real and open and honest with people as much as possible. For me, I am competing for real.
Yeah.
Uh, because I'm not always the first choice for
Okay.
things. Sometimes I'm the last guy to find out what's going on. I've had to earn the spot that I'm in, you know, and like I said, that's through hard work and dedication. I don't I don't get that CM Punk, Roman Reigns type treatment, even at the level I'm at
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, I know that there's somebody better and there's somebody who wants my spot,
Mm.
you know. But I have to stay sharp and do what I need to do to make sure that when the people come see me, even though they know what's going on, they
Mm-hmm.
can still believe in Sweet Caramel Lightning. They know Sweet Caramel Lightning is real.
Yep. He's there to work, put in that extra effort for the fans. That's 10 shots, no chasers, Sweet Caramel Lightning Edition. My guy, people want to know, where can they follow you? Where can they get information about either your next match, your next meet and greet, your next anything to get a hold of or be in the same atmosphere as Sweet Caramel Lightning?
You can follow me on Instagram at Sweet Caramel Lightning. You can also find me on Facebook at Caramel Space Mel Lightning. Got to make it seem like a real name for Facebook, even though it's phony. Because whose name is that?
Yeah, you got to do what you
You
got to
know?
do, right? Put that.
But you guys can follow me at those two places. Instagram at Sweet Caramel Lightning, and on Facebook, Cara Space Mel Lightning. All right. And you can keep up with everything that's going on with Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling on Instagram and Facebook at Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling. And please, please, please catch us at Nation of Wrestling. We got a show June 27th live at the VFW Veterans of Foreign Wars building. Y'all know where to go. Y'all know who to ask about tickets. Me and RTJ about to do this one last time. Last man standing. And Sweet Caramel Lightning planning on being the last man standing.
Can't say it any better than that. June 27th, VFW 8782, 691 North Carolina Drive out here in El Paso, Texas. Doors open at 4. First bell is going down at 5. Let me tell you, man, like I said, not that I'm saying this because I don't get paid a single penny from Nation of Wrestling. I don't have any affiliation, but nothing but love for you guys and the respect for the what you guys do. You guys in El Paso need to come out here and see these guys do the work that they do. Not only the main stable of guys, but they also have the upcoming guys that are what are they called? The futures or
Yes, the Now Future Show,
Yeah.
showcasing all the up and coming wrestlers on the El Paso independent wrestling scene. And some of these guys, they are working their tails off right now, man, just
Facts.
for an opportunity to be a part of the Nation of Wrestling roster, man. So come out, come find your new favorite wrestler, man. This is where it starts, right here on the independent scene, right here at Nation of Wrestling.
Facts. So make sure you guys come out here June 27th. Support the boy, Sweet Caramel Lightning. See if we can finally put that nail in the coffin for RTJ. Let him say good night. And with that, guys, till next time, be up, be cool, be nice. Deuces.